So towards the back end of 2019, I reviewed the F40 BMW M135i, the brand new replacement to the car to the left of me here, and very shortly after that I began hunting for a new vehicle. A lot of you guys on my social media thought that I was going to buy one of the new M135i's, considering I did a very good review of one. In today's video we're going to be looking at some of the key differences between the two cars, and I'm also going to explain why I personally went for the F40 M140i to the left of me here. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Hey up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So as you just heard from that little bit of an intro there, we're going to be talking about some of the key differences between the F40 M135i and the F21 M140i, which is sat to the left of me. Now unfortunately I was unable to get an F40 here today. I will refer back to one of the videos that I did towards the back end of last year, and if you want to go take a look at that full video, please check the link down in the description. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It helps me greatly with my growth goals and also lets me know what content you guys enjoy. But let's jump straight into it then. We're going to be talking about the exterior of these cars, and it's not fair to compare them at all. There's not much at all that these two cars shares, barring the BMW badge, and it's no secret that BMW redesigned the F40 M135i from the ground up as a completely new model. Now we've had this bread van style 1 Series in one form or another since 2013, back with the original M135i, but it's sad to see that this car is no longer available. The F21 to the side of me here was available in 3 and 5-door models, whereas the new F40 model is only available in a 5-door. Now for some people that won't present a problem if you're using the back seats quite a lot, or if you've got kids in the back, or you carry a lot of luggage, then that will be absolutely fine. But for somebody such as myself who enjoys the 3-door coupe style look, and personally I think the 3-door looks slightly different and slightly sportier than the 5-door, it presents a little bit of an issue. I wouldn't mind seeing what an F40 in a 3-door form would look like. I think it would look quite nice, and I think it would attract quite a few different people. Now would this be a proper comparison video if we didn't talk about the elephant in the room? That elephant is this engine behind me here. So the 140i behind me is powered by a 3-litre turbocharged inline 6 engine producing 340 brake horsepower and 500 newton meters of torque. So the F40 M135i has completely done away with this engine. It's put it into the trash and it's replaced it with a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine that produces 450 newton meters of torque and just over 300 brake horsepower. Now there tends to be quite a split, quite a stark difference between two different types of owners. On one side you've got people who own the 3-litre 6-cylinder engine who haven't taken all of that well to the changes. And I can completely appreciate that, because the 3-litre 6-cylinder engine in this car is what makes it special. On the other side of the fence we've got the owners of the Golf R's, the Audi S3s, the A45s, the i30Ns and Leon Coopers of this world, who are now taking attention of BMW and looking at the F40 as a viable option. Now of course you guys know that there's been some more changes aside from the engine, and let's move on to them now. So to speak about the next big change that BMW have made between the F21 and the F40, we've actually come round to the back of the car. Now we've just been speaking about that 3-litre 6-cylinder turbocharged engine being chopped out, but not only that, BMW taking away the rear-wheel drive chassis. So the 350 bhp that this car has behind me is sent to these rear wheels, and it makes for a very exciting drive. Now this is another change which split owners completely down the middle. I've owned a Golf R myself, I've owned an all-wheel drive hot hatch, and I must say you can't compare the two. So the new F40 has an all-wheel drive system similar to that to the AMG A45, similar to the Golf R, similar to the Audi S3 in the sense of it's a front-wheel drive bias system. When you're driving the car you can completely tell the difference. It feels like you've been pushed from the back in this one, it feels like you've been pulled from the front in the F40. Now again, I don't think it's fair to compare the two cars because they are essentially made for two different types of people. If you're wanting a fun, dailyable car that you want to take out on the weekend, take to the track and have some fun with, this is the car for you. If you're looking for a very, very daily friendly car and you're not too bothered about getting the back end out or having some fun, then the F40 is probably the car that you're going to pick. Now I don't think that BMW changed the drivetrain to punish current owners of the 140i, not whatsoever. I actually think it's more of a commercial change. So if you think about the current stature of all the hot hatches that are out in the market at the moment, this is the only rear-wheel drive one. So changing the F40 to an all-wheel drive platform puts it smack bang in the middle of all of its competitors, and I actually think BMW should have waited a little while to see what the Mark 8 Golf R has to offer, because now it's only offering the same power as the Mark 7. The Golf R Mark 8 has recently been announced to have around 320-330 brake horsepower, so it will put it slightly above the F40 M135i, which may tempt quite a few people into that car as opposed to the 135. If you are a 140 owner, are you going to be annoyed at the all-wheel drive change? Yes, you are completely. If you're a Golf R owner, are you going to be annoyed at the rear-wheel drive change? Probably not, because it doesn't mean all that much to you, plus it means you've got another car which can compete with your own. So as we move on to the interior, I personally think that this is the only place where the M135i has the F21 top trumped. Now, it's no secret that I really enjoyed my time inside of the F40 because it's got a new redesigned interior. This interior in the car that I'm sat in at this very moment in time has been with us in various different shapes and sizes since around 2011. It's only very recently had a very slight change, having the digital displays in the LCI versions of these cars, but other than that, it hasn't changed all that much. Now, if you could take that F40 interior and put it into this M140i, I would be an extremely happy man. I just think that this interior that I'm sat in at the moment just needs a little bit of an update, needs a little bit of a refresh, but of course we're not going to get that now since the F40 has come out. So it's been brought to my attention that I'm missing out some key points of detail when I'm talking about the specs of a car, and one of them details is the boot space. So I'm just going to open the boot on the M140i now, and you'll see that the boot space has a capacity of 340 litres. The boot space in the F40, well, that's 380 litres, so you're going to fit more into the back of that car. When we're talking about rear legroom and space in the rear of the car, I must say, in the M140i, I can fit 5 people comfortably with my driving seat in its normal position. Now, I have my driving seat quite far back, so I'm quite surprised at that point. But when I was looking at the F40 towards the back end of last year, I got into the back of the car in a similar circumstance with my driving seat as it would be if I owned it, and I had more than enough legroom, and I'm 6'1" with big legs. There's no doubt that the space in the back between these two vehicles is very similar, so it's not something that's going to create a stark difference or point you in one direction or another if you are considering one of the two cars. So moving into one of the final points now, and it's arguably the most asked question between the F40 and the M140i, or the F21 or the F20, whichever we want to package it in, which is how do the cars drive? Now, it's quite hard to compare the two side by side considering I don't have them here right now, but I did drive the F40 for quite a long time towards the back end of 2019, and of course now I own an M140i. I've been driving this around for the last month and a half. So there are some key takeaways that I think are worth noting. So point number one is the power of the cars and the way that the cars deliver it. The M140i has much more power than the F40, and you can definitely feel that on a day-to-day basis. The way that the M140i pushes you back in your seat is much more prominent than that of the M135i. Takeaway number two is the drivetrain and the chassis feeling of the both cars side by side. So the M140i behind me is rear-wheel drive, the F40 is all-wheel drive. So it's no secret that the F40 will have more day-to-day grip and day-to-day drivability than the car behind me. One point that I would mention though is that the drivetrain in the F40 isn't quite as refined as that in the Golf R, say. I know that in a couple of the different power pulls that I did in the F40, I felt a little bit of torque steer, which I thought was quite odd for an all-wheel drive car and a car that was supposed to be quite refined and clinical. Takeaway number three is going to be the driver-centric nature of the M140i. You take the M140i out to a country road and you're pushing on, you're going to feel the rear of the car helping the car to rotate and pushing it through the corner. Now in the F40 that's completely different, as you would imagine, with the all-wheel drive chassis. Given it's a front-wheel drive bias, if you push on too much, you are going to induce understeer, which in terms of driver confidence isn't all that great, and I just think it could do with a little more bias towards the back just to help rotate that car a little bit more. And my fourth and final point is just to say that both cars aren't driver-centric in the way that a GT86 is driver-centric or in the way that a GT3 RS is driver-centric. There are some modifications that you can do to the 140i, including the underbody brace, the M4 LCAs and a couple of other suspension mods to help make it a bit more driver focused, but I've yet to see any solutions for the new F40 M135i. So just before we wrap up this video, I just want to say that this is my opinion entirely. Of course, if you want to go and find out yourself, go drive an F40, go drive an F21 M140i and decide for yourself. But I want to know your opinions down in the comments below. Let me know which car you prefer. Do you prefer the 3 litre? Do you prefer the 2 litre? Rear wheel drive, all wheel drive? Let me know down down in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, you are an absolute star, my friend. If you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing, please consider subscribing to the channel, like the video, keep up to date with what I'm doing, and as always, I'll catch you guys soon.